What's up, guys? Welcome back to class. Okay, trying something a little bit different here. I got a new assignment, and we haven't done a ton of this kind of stuff this school year, although we have done art projects a couple times. I did a World War I propaganda poster. We've done a couple creative writing assignments, and then we did a World War II piece of art. Now, probably more than any other assignment, I've gotten a lot of requests from students to do more art style and creative style assignments. So I promised I would try to incorporate more of that in Q4. This is me trying to follow through on that promise. So I'm going to give you some work time for the rest of this week and keep kind of the note-taking and quiz and standard assignments light. I've also decided for this week, I'm going to skip the Q&A assignment, and I want you guys to focus on this, and I'm calling it the Cold War and Civil Rights Events Illustrations Assignment or Project, all right? So for this one, it's similar to like the propaganda poster or piece of art, but a little twist to it. Now, we've covered quite a few big events from the 1960s so far. Crazy decade. It's one of my favorite decades to cover in class, and I think one of the most tumultuous and crazy times in American history. So we're not totally done with the 1960s yet, but with what we've hit so far, I made a list of 8 different things that are big topics. Sorry, I got playing down here. I made a list of 8 different big topics that we have covered so far in the notes and some of the videos that I've posted in class. What you need to do for this assignment is select any 4 of those 8 things, and you are going to make an illustration that represents that event. Okay, so simple enough. Now I do have requirements below, and I'll have this Google Doc attached to the assignment so you can reference it. And if you have any questions or need clarification, by all means, shoot me an email, or if you happen to be coming into school, just ask me face to face and I'll help you out with it. So here we go for the requirements. Now, this is what I'm expecting from you. I'm not specific as to like, do you have all 4 of your illustrations on one sheet of paper, or do you have an illustration on one illustration per sheet of paper? I don't care how you do it. You go about that however it works best for you. I hope everybody has like just blank paper at home. And if you don't, I have plenty of computer paper at school and larger like poster boards. I'm happy to share any of that with you. Obviously, if you're coming into school, I'll provide it for you. And even if you're working remote, if you can come up to the office or pop in for a day to see me, I'm happy to share any of my art supplies with you. Also like colored pencils and that kind of stuff. Now, you're not allowed to just go to Google Images and like copy and paste an image and turn that in as your work. You didn't really do any work other than a Google search. But if you do want to print something from Google and then trace it, I'd be okay with that, but what you're turning in and submitting has to be your own illustration. For this, I'm not worried about you being the best artist. I know some students are outstanding artists. Other people really struggle with that. I'm 100% no, like from my mindset, I'm looking for effort. I just want to see that you tried hard. Now, if it's like, if your drawings look like a 5-year-old did it in about 30 seconds and it's stick figures and doesn't really relate to the event that I can see, well, you're not going to get a great grade, and your grade will reflect that amount of effort. But whether you're a good artist and have natural ability or not, if I think you tried on it and put some effort, you're going to do fine and get a good grade on this. And ideally, everybody that does this, typically, I grade pretty leniently, and most kids really excel at it. And then in the past, when I've done assignments similar to this, I've had a lot of kids turn in outstanding illustrations and some really cool art. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, my requirements are very brief, and so is the rubric. So check these out, but stick to this and make sure you fulfill these requirements. So no words except the title. That's the first thing there. So I don't want you writing and explaining the event to me. You should have already written down the event and explained it in your notes. And then I'll assess you on that in other ways. And we do more writing assignments really in class. So for this, like, let's go back to the top here. Say you're choosing the election of 1960. That was the first one that had a televised debate. For that illustration, if you have a sheet of computer paper and you're doing that one, give me a title that's election of 1960 so I know what you're drawing for sure. Hopefully I get it just from looking at it, but just in case, give me a title on there. But then in the rest of the assignment, the illustration, Don't use any words or text. I want it to be all drawing. Okay, so you got to really think about it and choose your images wisely and how you're going to depict it. Next requirement: provide a detailed illustration for each. Obviously, that's kind of the point and heart of the assignment. And then each illustration should include color if possible. In normal years, that would have been an ironclad requirement to get full credit. This year, I'm going to be a little bit more lenient if you're working remotely from home and you have no access to like colored pencils or crayons. Now, please try to color it. I definitely, it's more likely you'll get full credit and 100% on it if you have some color on there. So I would appreciate you trying to color on them. It really makes the images pop. It adds something, a little more flair and flavor to it. So I'd appreciate it if you try to do some coloring on the images. And if you don't have colored pencils or crayons, I would imagine most of you probably do around your house. But if you don't, again, I have a big box at school. Normally, I would not loan those out and let kids take them home. But given the circumstances this year, I'm absolutely happy to share a set in a variety of colors with you so you could complete this assignment. Try to get them back to me if you can. But if you're not comfortable coming in and seeing me in class, if you email me ahead of time, I will send them down to the office with Miss Eagle, and you or your parent could just pop in and grab the set real quick and take them home to complete the assignment. Now, my rubric. I probably don't include rubrics enough on my assignments for this one. Very concise little one. And this will probably be one of the biggest like single classwork assignment grades going in for quarter four, and maybe even the biggest one. So it'll be a 20-point assignment total, worth point value on it. And this is how I would break down your grade. 1 point for just giving me the title. All right. So you got your title on it. That's 1 point check. Pretty basic thing. Everybody should get that. 3 points for the quality of your illustration. I think you used your brain and depicted the event in a decent, kind of reasonable way that makes sense. And did you put some effort into it? I'm huge on effort. I just want to see that you tried, whether you're a natural artist or not. Hey, everybody has a different skill set, but effort, everybody's capable of giving effort. So do better than like silly little stick figures. You know what I mean? Yeah. Try to give me some effort on that. Even if you have to trace, I don't care. As long as it's your own drawing and you were the one putting pencil to paper, hey, do what you have to do to make it work. But it has to be an illustration of your own creation. And then last thing, 1 point for color. Now, if you can't come into the school and you don't have any colored pencils, and here's a big and you contact me ahead of time and explain that, and we just can't work it out, I probably will be lenient on you for the color requirement. But again, it's only if you touch base with me. If you don't touch base with me at all, I'll assume you had some colored pencils or crayons around the house or markers, and were able to do that. So, if you never contact me or talk to me about it at all, and you turn it in and there's no color, expect a minor point deduction there. And again, you have to do 4 total. Each one would be worth 5 points. So for a total of 20 points. Now, how do you submit it? In normal times, you would draw it in class and just give it to me or turn it into the cubby in my classroom. Now, if you're coming into school, well, yeah, you'll just give it to me. I have assignment cubbies. I'll explain that when I'm in at school and see you where you could submit it at and make sure you have your name on it. But a lot of you, the majority of you, are not coming into school every day. So you submit it to me any way that works best for you. What I think would work best is you snap some pictures of it with your phone or your parents' phone or a Chromebook, and then you could hopefully cut and paste those right onto a Google Doc or Google Slides and just submit it that way. Give me the link. If you need to send the images as attachments, if you have to, I would prefer that it gets submitted on the assignment post. But if you have to, you can share it to my email. I will accept it that way. Again, you might do 4 different sheets of paper and a snapshot of each one and turn it in. Maybe you have a bigger sheet of paper and you do all 4 illustrations. You kind of do a box, an X on it, and each quadrant like has an illustration in it. Whatever works for you. I would be okay with accepting, like, if you just use your YouTube channel or YouTube account and you record your images and go through and kind of talk me through it really quick and show it and display each image for a few seconds so I can see it. that would work. So bottom line, I'll be as lenient as I can on that. I just need to see that it's your work. Obviously, don't plagiarize. I mean, I'm going to see different people's images. If I see the exact same drawing twice, this is one that is pretty easy to pick out people that are copying and plagiarizing there. So don't do that. Don't be lazy. Do your own work and submit it to me any way that works best. If you have any problems with this, and I know this is a different style assignment, if you're confused or need clarification, shoot me an email, get in touch with me, and I will do everything I can to help you out. So enough of me babbling. Good luck with this assignment. I hope you enjoy it, find it engaging, and it makes you think about these events in a little bit different way because, it is kind of a different skill set to try to like think of a historical event. And then instead of writing a statement about it, you have to draw an illustration that represents it. So hopefully it accesses a different part of your brain and makes you do a little bit of critical thinking to complete this one. So try to enjoy it and hit me up if you have any problems.